05, the Word NINER podcast. You hear me that? We have a new technician as always, but with that, I can't really see, but we do have another chair, which means...
Do we have another guest this week?
Another guest. I wonder who it could be. It is Cadet Balthazar. Rocking the PT G jacket.
Yep.
I got the sweater. You got my so how you doing? How you been?
I'm doing good. You know? How are you? How you guys been?
I've been good. I've been good too. You know.
Episode 5.
Episode 5. Yes, we're pushing them out. Sorry, this episode gets pushed out a little late. But week 10. It's been crazy. In a good way though. How we feel like this semester is going so far?
Let's start from the left.
I'm surviving,
Surviving, yeah.
Nursing school is like a huge shock to me just because, I don't know. I knew it was going to be hard. I think it was going to be this place hard.
Nursing major though. Nursing, yeah.
And it's funny we talk about nursing because that is one of our topics today. But before we get into that, we have our PT debrief. One of these days, one of these episodes, I'm pretty sure we're going to get it. It's going to be perfect, okay?
Yeah.
Not the next semester. Continue.
Oh,
With that, alright, PT today.
Yep.
Starting with our special guest, how you feel like it went today?
PT was actually really good today. We were at UREC and then we split off into flights. Some of us were doing calisthenics, others were running, and some of us were working on the machines down below in UREC. So I feel like that was a good use of our time. Basically, we hit all the core exercises and all of that. So
I totally agree with
them
that.
core exercises were killing
planks.
Yeah, imagine having to go to
back to back
two
to
flights
back.
and you're doing the same exercise you just did with one flight. So you gotta go another plane or another 30-minute push-ups where we were doing. So yeah, that was fun.
So usually when we do lifting or machines, if you're POC, you don't really get in unless there's space. And so I didn't want to take time from GNC, but I did try one time and it was like a chest fly. I don't know.
Yep.
I didn't understand how to do it, so it was kind of awkward.
Yeah. I remember last year one of our cadre, Lieutenant Colonel Flynn, would be off to the side doing weights and dumbbells while everybody else is doing other machines. We would just go over and look at him. He's working hard, and we're okay.
I get the guns in.
Yeah, guns for real.
But yeah, I really did like it. Like I said, I know last semester we tried to test it out, but I really like how you said we interacted with more exercises rather than just staying in the gym all day. So I definitely got work in, had these on sweat rack and everything.
Yeah, we did calisthenics, weightlifting, and cardio. We really did all three of them today.
Sweaty.
Yeah.
Sweaty.
And UREC, so stuffy.
Yeah, as always, good job to the Pitfalls. Keep it up. A couple more weeks left. The PFA is coming very soon. Watch the first episode.
Yeah.
I know we'll be taking it November the 4th, and I believe the GMC cadets are taking November 6th. So if you're watching this and you're in Attachment 5 now too, please make sure you're preparing for the PFA.
Yes.
Yeah. With that is the end of our PT debrief. Okay, so what is the topic today? It's a very interesting topic, I feel like. So we can get right into it. The topic of episode 05 is balancing academics and AFROTC, tips and strategies for managing both. I feel this is very important because you do have to have a good balance when it comes to ROTC and with school and depending any other activities you got going on outside of that. So with that, we're going to start going into our majors. What are our majors and why we chose our majors and how's it going so far,
Okay, everybody, you know me. I'm Cadet Him, and I'm a nursing major.
Yeah.
Why did I choose nursing? So, my backstory is that I applied to UNC Charlotte, biology, pre-med, But then kind of over the summer, I didn't really want to be a doctor anymore. Nursing just aligns more with my passions. Like, I want to do bedside care. I want to really know my patients and like be somebody who is closer to them, closer to their families, and be somebody that can advocate for them, because doctors don't really get much face-to-face time with their patients relative to nurses. And like, if somebody's gonna catch up on error, it's probably gonna be a nurse, and I want to be somebody that's like trusted with that.
More
So,
hands-on.
Yeah, that's why I chose nursing, and I also want to be a CRNA. So
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of commotion with goes into like doctors and nurses being the same thing, but they are completely different. I have friends, a lot of friends in nursing, and they always get to me like, oh, it's the same thing, but it's completely different. So.
Yeah.
Happy that for you. What about you, Professor?
I am a physics major. I came in and I didn't really know what I wanted to do as a career. I didn't join ROTC until my spring semester,
Yeah,
and so yeah, 150. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be meeting a bunch of 150s next semester, hopefully. But yeah, I came in because I don't know, like it's just I liked physics in high school. But I didn't want to do it as a career afterwards. I just kind of came in with the major. And I still like it. However, I do want to go pilot. Probably for similar reasons as Cadet Him, because I do like my work to be like very hands-on. And physics is, while it is interesting and it is a passion of mine, it's not exactly what I want to do for work. I really like flying things.
Yeah. And that's a really good thing about the Air Force. Like, you can get whatever degree or major you want, and you can still just get a different job that doesn't apply with the major you have. Like, me, for instance,
developmental engineer.
There are some jobs like, okay, we specifically want it, but for me, for instance, we got our jobs earlier this semester. I got cyber, and my major is Spice and Engineering Technology. So that has nothing to do with comp sci whatsoever. So please pray for me. But yeah. I was interested in the fire safety aspect because my dad's been a firefighter basically my whole life, and I joined the fire academy or classes my high school year. So, I mean, initially that wasn't my first job I wanted. I wanted to do something in arts, but I was like, I had to think about, hey, am I really gonna be able to be successful, take care of myself with the art major? Because it's a little difficult trying to find jobs as the art major. Not saying it's impossible, but it's like I want to be able to have a job that I can be comfortable in and actually find a job to execute in. So when the fire safety aspect part, luckily I got a little bit of the engineering side, not all of it though. But I know I'm liking it more than I thought I would, and I'm so grateful I had the opportunity to join AFROTC and get my second pick of cyber. So
yeah, cyber. Also, I'm just saying, if you meet this guy in real life, he is very good at art. I'm just saying, but you know, maybe it's a blessing to keep it as a hobby and not as a career.
Yeah. Cause you know what they say, it's like when you have a passion, you don't want to do a job, and then it turns like not liking it. So that's another thing with that too. But with that, yes, there are many majors. We have nursing, we have physics. Another one of the top ones are engineering. This engineer techs like me, science degrees, STEM degrees. Any major you want to get, like I said, you can go for it, and you can still go off ROTC.
Like international studies, like. A lot of mechanical engineers, poli-sci, business, finance, health systems management. We have all kinds of majors in our program.
And it's very interesting. I like seeing all the cadets come out of detachment, and like the new people come in, the new BC cadets and new 250s, 150s. So what's your major? It's like, we have an arts. I don't think we ever had an arts before. So it's very interesting seeing the new diversity when it comes to majors. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So going into our next talking point is how to balance AFROTC. First one being course workload. So I know nursing is a lot. So for any nurse majors out there or similar to that, give some tips and strategies on how to balance AFROTC with your course workload.
Yeah, I'll say that, I think every nursing major in AFROTC would say this, is that it's definitely not easy. Like, to be totally transparent, when you come and talk to a recruiter or a cadet that's part of AFROTC, they're like, oh, we're gonna work with you, and they do work with you with your schedule and like any conflicts that you may have, anything that like is an issue when it comes to like nursing and ROTC, but you do have to make some sacrifices. Like I had to miss class, and then I had therefore have to like make up assignments for it, and I also like am behind on content because I can't not take my aero class. And then for nursing, like instead of getting free days to study, I have to go to lead lab and aero class. So it's a lot, but you just really have to be on your time management. I'm lucky enough that I kind of like went through high school taking like hard classes and also playing a sport, so I know how to manage my time well. And yeah, it's just fortunate for me that I have these skills, because it's definitely like something you really have to work for, but it is not impossible. And yeah, there's always people that are there to support you. So just time management and communication. You definitely have to communicate with not only with your cadre, but people, like if you're a GMC, people in your flight, your POC, your leadership, and just like your team that you're in, you definitely have to communicate like, hey, this is like what I'm going through with school. Like if someone could help me out, take off some of my like workload in ROTC, it would be really beneficial until I'm able to like come back and put more time into it.
Yeah. It's like crazy sometimes, because you're like, oh yeah, I have clinicals from like morning until basically evening, and then you're like, yeah, I can't make it to this event, and sometimes I'm just like, dang, like how do you do that?
I think you props. So not even just nursing, but just like any of those with like, I'm not saying there's majors better than other majors, like all majors, we all work hard on it, but like those that have to like really go out their way to make sure you're still doing what you gotta do to be able to stay in the program.
Like they're very time-consuming majors, and like you know, I am technically in your leadership. Well, yeah, I am in your leadership. And so what she said is like really important, because yes, we are all students, but we do understand that some majors just have so much more time commitment than others do, and you just really need to work through that. I'm glad you communicate.
Okay, and then next second point is physical fitness. I'm gonna let you handle that if you.
Ooh, physical fitness.
Yeah, how you balance that with AFROTC? Mrs. Runner over here.
Yeah. I just got back from a run. You know, I'm kind of stinky, but yeah, I think I struggled with that when I became a 300 in my first year as a POC. What was that?
I said me right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I feel like that's because your 300 years really a transition time for like
the transitioning is like...
Yeah.
Because now, like, sometimes I'll go like a whole week without working out because at PT, like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. And like part of that was like, you know, at one point I was like in ops, I was a flight trainer. And a lot of being a flight trainer is like, sometimes you just can't, like, you don't have time to work out during PT or even after PT. Sometimes you have meetings and you have this and that. You know, I'm still working my job, and so like all of this like time management thing, like number one is I had to learn to use like Google Calendar and all that to like portion out my day.
I love my calendar.
We love us a Google Calendar. But yeah, like it helped me to like see what hours of my day I could logically spend like doing something physical, and that was my one thing. My second thing was like not feeling guilty, I guess, for not working out as much as I did before, because before I had like a lot of time relative to now to go to the gym and to work out at home, or to just like go out and go on a run and then come back and shower and still make it time in class, you know. But now I don't really have that much time, and so there was a part of me that kind of held myself back from working out, because I just felt guilty that, oh man, like I haven't worked out this week, and if I work out right now, I'm not going to see the results I want to see. But I guess that's like one thing I just had to figure out, is that like, okay, don't feel bad, because working out is just kind of like, it could be part of your life, but also like there's a flow to it. Like there's not just an ROTC and academics flow, there's also a personal life and physical fitness flow. And sometimes like you're not gonna have time for one, or you're gonna deteriorate in other parts, and it's just how it works. So right now, what really helped me the most was finding people who I can schedule my runs with, especially to like, you know, regularly throughout the week, just meeting up. Cadet Drumheller right now, I'm meeting up with her basically every week to go like on a run in the evenings. And like also that, like I had to get out of my comfort zone. Like the times where I usually used to work out was like right after PT, like in the mornings. I hated working out in the evenings, right? Like whoever works out in the evenings, for me, crazy. That's crazy. But it was just more convenient for me. But then now I just have to like get out of my comfort zone and be like, yeah, this is the only time I can possibly work out. So I just have to do it, you know. Yeah. And it's, for me, it's worth it. Especially like, you know, with finding people to encourage you and like to work out and stuff like that, because now I have to show up and work out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
because I was like our last episode, the Pitfall, Cadet Bulls, like how we said, like me and him, we work out. I want to go, he wants to go. Kind of like in this week, you know, hopefully if you're watching this, Cadet Bulls, go tomorrow or something. But yeah, physical fitness, like you said, like it's not just work in AFROTC school, but it's also physical fitness too. Top of flow, like you gotta balance everything. You gotta make some sacrifices, but at the end of the day, you still gotta do what you have to do. If you have to skip the gym one time, you know. Yeah. But as of right now, since we're students, academic comes first. We always like to tell the GMC cadets that overall everything is academics, then AFROTC, and then anything else going after that.
Yeah, I think the weird thing about being a POC is like you have like more work in school, and then when you go to PT now, and when like disclaimer, when I say I didn't do anything, I mean sometimes I don't. If I'm like a station lead and I like have to give like direction, I don't do much, but like I definitely don't get the same intensity as the GMC do, because I have to watch for like people falling behind, people who are getting injured, and then I have to like stop and help them, which is like, it's my job. Yeah, it's my job, like I'm happy to help, but definitely like even if we do a campus run, like we're going, and then next thing you know, like I have to fall behind, take someone back, and then I'm going back. It's like, it's just not the same.
Yeah, POC is
as
like
it used to be.
Right now, it's like you're expected to run the event so that they can work out.
Yeah,
it's
so
kind
that the focus is for them to work out, so we might not get to work out as much.
Because I think the major thing is, at least POC wise, like you should be able to. I think was it Major Morgan or Carter Fanning told us like, they should be able to call us at any time. We should be able to pass PFA. That's just how it is.
I mean, that's true.
Higher standards.
That is
PLC
true though. Like
why GMC had like people come from high school that probably never worked out before. Like we mentioned in the last episode, so we try to like put more attention on them so they can get that point to where it's like the physical fitness shouldn't be like a weakness no more. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like maintaining more than building.
Yeah, like
we're trying to build them and then maintain ourselves.
Yeah. That makes sense. Those are wise words right there.
Maintain.
About to say words today. Okay, a couple more topics before we close this episode out. So the third one is jobs. I think we all had a job or has a job now.
I had a job at one point.
I also had a job. So I guess we all can kick this in. So I'll start off. So I used to work at Chick-fil-A at the Spetcher Hornets Stadium. So I was the fry guy. So like once the fries and they call. But yeah, I did that my sophomore year, so my first year actually joining the program. Then during FTP too. So I didn't work as much. I kind of probably took the easy way out. I just left. Not that I wanted to. It's just I didn't really like. I know some people do have jobs because they have to have the job. I was fortunate enough to where I didn't actually need a job to keep it. So I left so I could focus more on FZP. Kind of on that, and I also was taking some classes that college actually be kicking in, especially coming the years to go up. So I just when I was working, really just like going back to time management. You got to make sure that you're doing everything you're doing right there and then, not procrastinating, not wait. Like yes, it's going to happen. Nobody's perfect, but just making sure that I'm having enough time to keep on going to work after going to school, after going to AFROTC, doing things I gotta do with that, preparing myself, PT, the E-Lab. You just gotta make sure that you also get the help that you need to. Like I said, communicating. Like I communicate with my boss, hey, I can't come to work today. And he's like, I understand. Like AFROTC, it's a lot going on with that. Not every job's like that, so it's important to really pick a job, put in your resume, yourself like, hey, you're in school, So if they do hire you, at least they know, like, hey, they're gonna have to work with you. It's not like you're a regular employee or you're just working and going home. Like, you have AFROTC in school, everything else with that. So fortunately, I had a good boss with that. But I had fun overall, you know. They didn't get to see no NBA star players, sadly, but it was pretty fun.
Maybe your next job.
But if y'all want to tell y'all experience on jobs or not.
No, okay. I can go. I'm actually still working, but not the same job that I have been working for like 2 years. I was like working a TA job in the physics department since I was a sophomore, I believe. So that made it 2 years working as a TA, and it was a very small department. So and like to my knowledge right now, there aren't any physics majors who are still in RTC. So it kind of was a little bit difficult because, you know, my bosses have never like had like an RTC student who's in the physics department trying to do like this specific job. And so, you know, sometimes I would have to explain stuff, and like sometimes I would have to be like, yeah, I literally don't have the time during Thursdays or during this day and stuff.
Especially on Thursdays. Thursdays the ones.
Yeah, no, Thursday is really the worst.
Anything on a Thursday,
Yeah.
it's just not.
My mom calls me, I'm like, I forgot Thursday's going.
I don't like,
Yep.
I don't do anything. I don't even study on Thursdays.
It's just all RTC, and so yeah, it took a little bit for them to kind of get used to that, and especially because, you know, there weren't many physics TAs. They really did have to work with me because I was like, you know, I was pretty much their only hope with like grading or anything. But yeah, I did that for like 2 years because I needed the job. I needed to pay some stuff. And then now I'm working a different job, still in the university, but it's like a little company like affiliated with the university. And I like this one a little more just because they're like a lot more understanding of my hours. And I do have time during certain days to come in like before my class and everything, and it doesn't hinder me from RTC. What I did have to learn was that I did have to learn to almost like portion out my mental space throughout the day. Like sometimes I would have to work probably outside of my actual job hours just because I need to finish the work. But then I also have to finish RTC things. So it's like I had certain days where I would have to tell myself like, okay, I'm in job mode right now. Like I need to finish this job and stop thinking about RTC. And then like an hour later I would be like, okay, I'm in RTC mode. So just like doing that switch where you need to focus on one thing, because it's very easy to get overwhelmed if you're focusing on your job and then your academics and then like your personal life or RTC life and everything like that. It's very easy to just kind of like focus on one thing and then get stuck in it and then realize you have all these other things, all these other deadlines. So again, Google Calendar is not sponsored, but Google Calendar was like really helpful because I literally would like put in job time and then RC time.
I do the same thing.
Do this time.
If I have plans to hang out with someone, I put it in my calendar.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I will forget, and then next you know it's like, oh hey, like blah 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 blah, and I'm like, oh,
Yep.
I forgot.
Yep. Yeah. And like the same goes for like pretty much everything. Like, again, like it goes back to the thing I was talking about with maintaining my physical fitness. I would feel bad because like even while I was working out, I would be so distracted, like thinking about all these other things. But like I think it's just really important to be able to focus your attention on one thing at a time, so that you don't like get overwhelmed.
I had to start putting my phone on do not disturb in class because like I'll like get a text message like RTC related. Next you know I'm like on my computer like trying to like work this out, and then next you know like 30 minutes I pass in my class and I only have all my classes once a week, and I just like missed like a fourth of the content already. Yeah. I mean, I still struggle with that too. Like during class, I would be working on RTC things or like my job things, and then I would realize like I was paying attention, and my teacher would be like, "Yeah, all that would be on the test, by the way." And I'm like,
"Oh no!"
This is very, very important.
It's like, what was the point?
Yeah.
But going back to the friends topic, that is actually the next talking point is how you balance your hobbies with friends, families, and activities that you have. with AFROTC?
I think for me, I'm pretty introverted, so like.
Oh, we all.
Yeah, but I am not like a plan initiator. Like I'm kind of like I'll go, but I'll never like not never, but it's very rare for me to like make plans like, oh, on this day, like let's go out to dinner or something like that, just because like my schedule is so busy and I take advantage of like every second of free time I get. But then if someone like invites me to something, which is very often, we have friends that like love to go out to eat all the time.
Yeah, me.
And
Sorry, other friends.
or like do stuff, and if I have time, I'll go. But also like cause I think a lot of people have FOMO, like fear of missing out. I have that, but I also like know how to cope with it, because sometimes like you just can't go, and it's like if you go and hang out all the time,
You're never gonna
like
get it done.
you're not gonna get anything done, and it's like you have to have a balance. Like there always has to be some kind of give. You don't get to hang out with them this one day, but like you could just hang out another day. Like they're not going anywhere. So you just have to learn how to cope with your FOMO. It's like probably the biggest thing. And then with family, I honestly don't talk to my parents as much as I probably should. I get so busy. And
I got better this.
They don't want to bother me either.
I definitely that was one thing I struggled with, like communicating with family.
Yeah.
Which like every time I had like our ACA meetings with
my
instructors, like, what's
ACA,
one going on? I'd be like, communicate with my family.
Call my dad more. Call
Every
my dad
time.
more. My ACAs every single time. That's what I say. Like literally since my first semester in this program.
Yeah. Because it's just hard, especially like just being far distance, because you with them like all the way to 18 years or 17, depending when you go to college. And it's like now you're on your own, so now you really have to use that long distance type relationship with your family. And you're not used to that, you know. Like me, at least I'm not used to that, you know. So something you just gotta work on, push through it with that.
Yeah.
You have anything to add with that?
With the friends thing, I think ironically enough, I think I was better at like controlling myself in terms of like hanging out with my friends and stuff. When I was a GMC, I think I was better at doing that when I was a GMC than I am now.
I agree with that too.
Because I mean, like when you're going through things with your peers during your GMC years, you're just kind of like hanging in there, and then right after that, when you get into the POC core, it's like, man, we really went through it, and then you know now like you're all bonded and like you know each other now, and now like.
It's like you're
now that I'm a senior, yeah, exactly. And like I feel like especially if I'm a senior right now. This next semester is gonna be my last semester, and especially now that I'm thinking like ahead, after I commission stuff like that, I'm like, dang, I'm really gonna be like going somewhere, you know, like I'm not gonna see these people in a while. So yeah, I think it's like, well, before it was definitely FOMO, and now it's like, well, what are my priorities like right now? Like, what do I want my last 2 semesters to look like?
That's so true.
I was telling that the other day because yesterday was my birthday, so we went out to celebrate. And I was at like a little mini speech like, I'm gonna miss out snow last night. I was like, you can make me cry. I was like, I'll still be here. I'll come visit if I can, you know.
Yeah, and that's like, I think that's...
Just gotta make the best of it, you know.
Yeah.
Don't waste for them.
Yeah. That's like the harder thing about it is that like, because you're during RTC, you know what you're gonna be doing afterwards. It doesn't really hit you sometimes that like, you know what you're gonna do afterwards. You know you're going to this specific place right after. And it's like, for me, like I think I just came to terms with it once I kind of realized that like, okay, well maybe before my priorities were academics and doing well in RTC and all that, but now I just kind of want to leave something behind, like whether it be in my personal relationships or in RTC or anything like that, before I leave. So
Makes sense.
that's what I want to do.
Well, before ending this episode, our last topic is what kept you going in the program? Any tips, strategies, advice? Better yet, like what would you give your younger self joining this program? Like what would you wish you could have told them during this? You know,
Why don't you start?
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah.
Me, in advice that I'll probably give myself or others, really is just. I mean, it's kind of a cop-out answer, but like just remember why you want to do this. Like, is it something you really want to do? Like, if the answer is yes, then I feel like it shouldn't be too complicated to make sure you getting the resources that you need to make you be successful at the end of the day. If the answer is no, then it's like, okay, what are your pros and cons? Why should you stay? Why should you not stay? Thankfully for me, after like 2 weeks, I was like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay in the program. But really, just like I just keep on going back. Like I want to be able to support my family. I actually do have interest in going to the Air Force, you know. And then originally wanted to be a firefighter at first, but I didn't know it's only for enlisted. So I'm glad to have cyber. So basically, I just keep on. Like I just like all the benefits you get from that, and just the people really is another big part of that too. Just like the family we have here. I just feel like Air Force really does take care of you, and especially here in Charlotte. Our detachment is really good with that, you know, and really just seeing my process throughout each year. I feel like I definitely have developed. I know our last that commander, that was like our motto, like develop, and I definitely feel like I have developed throughout each semester, each year, transitioning to a GNC cadet to a PhD cadet. I'm just like looking back and proud, like, wow, I went from this person to this person, and it still amazes me today, like, I actually did this. Like, went from being a 250, being fight commander, having gone honor guard commander, fight trainer, now Squadron 1 commander. So it's just, I'm just really happy with everything I went through and processed too, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future, you know. So. So yeah, top that, yeah.
Yeah. You know, go ahead.
For me, it wasn't really like AFROTC, but it was more like I was very homesick because I'm from out of state, so we go to UNC Charlotte, and I'm from Northern Virginia, and I'm very close to my family. Like I was military family. My dad's also a contractor, like a government contractor, so we move around a lot. Like every year when my dad signs a new contract, we basically move out, and I've been like all over the place. I never really stayed in the same school growing up, and like so like my family's like all I really had. So then when I moved away and I came to North Carolina, I was very homesick, and I really wanted to transfer back to a school in Virginia. But the issue was that the only school that really has an AFROTC program is Virginia Tech, VMI, and UVA.
No,
3 schools that I didn't really have an interest in going. Another thing is like I made really great friends in ROTC, and that's kind of like
We're her in the family.
what
So.
it kind of like it was a huge thing that kept me here was just the people that I met in this program.
See, that's 2 for the people, okay? Is yours the people also?
Sure, yeah.
They can do each
part of it's
your home run, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and tell what
Yeah.
any advice and tips you have, what kept you in the program?
Okay, this might not be like just for younger me or anything like that, but maybe like for people like me who didn't know anything about the military or like have never been in like a leadership program in general. I felt like I came in and like I held myself back a lot. Like I was so afraid of like saying anything or like doing anything that would be like wrong or something. Like I was kind of afraid of making mistakes and all of that because I knew I didn't know anything basically.
Yeah.
But then what I want to say to you, you, the person watching, you. Yeah, exactly. Is that like, okay, I know it's easy to like come in and be like, yeah, I'll just like be quiet for this first semester, you know, like I'll just watch and learn and stuff like that. Don't do that, you know, like yes, you can learn, right? But then I feel like a lot of people don't realize like how like special they are and how much talent they have in certain areas when they come in because they think that they're bad at everything, right? Yeah. Until later on, like maybe 1 or 2 years pass and somebody points out like, hey, you're like really good at running for some reason, or like, hey, you're really good at this specific thing in RTC or even outside of RTC, and it's like a big confidence booster, right? Yeah. But like that only happens if like once you start showing your true colors.
Put yourself out.
Yeah, exactly. And so like part of my thing is that like, especially when I was a trainer, it was so awesome to see like the different personalities and the different talents everyone in my flight had, but then we had to like pull it out of them because they were like all 100s. It was their first year here, and I was like, dude, like you're so awesome, and they were like, really? I'm like, what do you mean? So like honestly, like the biggest advice I have is like, don't be afraid to like show up and like be yourself, you know? Like yes, we are gonna teach you things, right? We're gonna teach you how to drill, we're teach you all these things that you gotta memorize or learn or something, but you're also like going to be teaching us a lot of things. You're also going to be showing us a bunch of things that you'll probably, like, that will probably benefit you later on. And I know I'm being very vague right now. It's because, like, there are a lot of things. Like, I didn't even know, like, Mark had a talent, or Walker. Cadet Walker. Yeah, like, I didn't even know, you know, how amazing he was at, like, drawing or art, or, like, how funny you were, or, like, things like this, right? And so you wouldn't think that it's, like, a special trait, but then in reality, like, when times got hard, I would, like, be uplifted, like, I would have morale because I would be surrounded by these types of people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, when you first come in, my biggest advice to you is, like, do not think that you suck at everything. Just go in and, like, do the best that you can, but also know that you are bringing something to the program. We are not here to just stuff things down your throat. You're also here to show who you are and leave something of yours behind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. She went off with that one.
That's a great way to end it off. This video was probably, for now, it's probably going on the longest video, but I feel like it was totally worth it. I feel like it's just a good
I really
episode.
hope y'all stuck around.
I really do hope too, you know. Please, if you're still here, comment down below. Thumbs up, you know, whatever you gotta do. You know, I heard, you know. I don't think you like it.
Lieutenant Colonel, if you're watching the show,
oh, yes.
you
We have a
during
cadre
your lunch
fan.
break.
Yay!
But with that, you have not done this before. I don't think we practiced with her either. So we might have to do this a couple of times. But with that, we have to, you know how we ended off with the curl? Okay. So basically,
just go up and then you like that.
Yeah, up and then you.
Yeah.
Y'all go at the same time, and then I'm gonna finish it. And you just go place off my, you know, voice. So go dun dun, and then I finish it. Go dun dun.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Again, I am Cadet Walker.
I'm Cadet Him.
I'm Cadet Baltazar.
And you're watching the Word NINER podcast. Dun 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 dun. Hey, that was everything.